When you're blue and kinda lonely too, you'll find a smile will go a long, long way. Though you're down, don't sit around and frown. A little smile will go a long, long way. Never grieve, just try to make believe the sky is blue, although you know it's gray. Don't you find it's just a waste of time? You'll find a smile will go a long.
Here we are. Hey guys, here we are back again. Buddy Cianci, his great line, and I'm going to fly solo again today because my dear friend Ron, who's recovering, and listen, is coming along really well. He had his surgery and he had his PT yesterday, and he'll be back before you know it. But he's going to go there now. He has to go away, and it's just me, you, and Hazel. So here we are, and we're going to do some stuff, and I'm going to wing it, and that's the way we're going to roll today. Yes. Hi, sweetheart. Hazel. We love Hazel. Can you imagine? I wonder what dogs would say if they could talk. If you just think about this, so all you animal owners out there, what's the first thing you think your dog or cat or goat or horse or pig or whatever would say to you? Imagine one day if they just started talking. Seriously. And by the way, if you would like to let me know what you think your animal would say, what do you think? I'm gonna post that on our Facebook page, Ron and Jen's Great Escape. If your animal could speak to you, what's the first thing they would say? Let me know. Just go and find us at Ron and Jen's Great Escape page on Facebook. It's a lot of fun. We post a lot of great stuff there, and there's no politics, no stress, no nothing. And this is why we started this thing. A lot of people bust my balls, and they send me, I love when I get emails like this and Ron does not. Ron does not, because Ron is Ron St. Pierre in the Rhode Island Radio Hall of Fame. And besides the fact, he doesn't like to give out his damn emails. So people send me emails and they say, I love this. Who are you trying to be doing that podcast? Your glory days are gone. You has been. Listen, whatever. I'm not trying to be anybody. I love to talk. And I love to communicate with people. And there's a lot of shit going on in the world. And, it's when you can have a fun, healthy, adult conversation about stuff, I think that's a good thing. So that's really my goal. But, and actually, if people want to, I'm going to get it too. Why are you starting a podcast? I am. I'm launching my own podcast, and that will be political, and that's under construction. So stay tuned for that bad boy. That'll be fun. We're going to have a lot of really fun elements to that show. And even though I'll have one line, you'll be able to call in on my one line. I don't know. Maybe I'll have two. I really just want one. But anyway, Ronzo will be back next week. So let's start here. First of all, we want to thank all of our sponsors. Operation Stand Down. We'll get to the details on that. Greg's, of course, and Brenda Lee O'Hara and O'Hara Senior Care. So we thank our sponsors for supporting us and letting us do this. You can't avoid it. I said to Ron just 10 minutes ago, I really don't want to mention the Kansas City situation, the rally and the shooting. And so he said you can't avoid it. He's right. So I just, those folks are in our thoughts and prayers. What can you can't make sense of it. It doesn't, nothing really. It's just, I've recently been posting on Facebook that humanity is mental. They keep us doped up, dumbed down, entertained. What do you think's going to happen when, all these drugs now are legal and everything is decriminalized, and there's, all kinds of places where you can actually go and get high and shoot up, and you can overdose and they'll help you. It's just incentivized madness. So of course, crap like this is going to happen. And there's a lot of reasons why. It's not just that, but I think that's a huge part of it. Drug use also, it creates, mental illness. If you're just say you're depressed, right? And you smoke weed or you're drinking, what do you think is going to happen? By the time you're in your full bender, you're going to be hating on people and sending ugly texts. Why? Because you're depressed and you're miserable, and that's what people do. That's what I did. I don't know. In the end, anyway, I used to did have, so in the end, that's how I rolled. But anyway, our thoughts and prayers are with those folks and families and that community, and we'll get more details and we'll share those with you next week. So let's just start off with some really important stuff. I know, really, Jen. The guy that invented Pop-Tarts died. What? And they shrunk too, by the way. Everything is shrinking. Just everything. If you guys are like me, and if you have, and I wonder how many people are actually like this. I have emergency food, and not the kind of food where you would add water. And if you can find clean water, because then you'd have to have a filter device to have clean water to put the water in whatever that you're buying, $100 a bucket. No, I just have a closet full of food, and I really need to go through it because I'm sure some things have expired from 2020 of cereal boxes and nuts and canned goods and almond milk in containers that last 10 years, which I don't understand. But I don't need to understand that stuff. And I definitely have Pop-Tarts. Here's my point. If you go into the old stuff from 2021, 22, 23, 24, listen, MREs, they last 25 years. Those are in my cupboard too. So if MREs can last 25, meals ready to eat from the service. A can of SpaghettiOs, even though it says expired in 2023, I'll be eating that in 2032 if the apocalypse came on us today. I mean, hey. I'm sure there's enough chemicals in there to make it last, even if we don't. So, but I forgot my train of thought. Go and look at some of the stuff from 2021, 22, 23, if you have it. How much bigger it was, the packaging to what you're getting now and to the prices. I've got a box of cereal, an empty box, because I ate it, from 2021, and it was a family size. I'm going to bring it next week and show you the difference. I'm going to juxtapose a family size in 2021 to a family size in 2024. It goes from like this size to like this size. Nana and the Peeps. It's unbelievable. But yeah, the Pop-Tart inventor has died. Nobody ever called Pop-Tarts a health food, but it's worth noting that their inventor lived to the age of what? 96. Yeah, 90s. I wonder if he ate a Pop-Tart a day. William Post was the manager of a bakery that developed Pop-Tarts for Kellogg's in 1964. That's according to his son, he told the New York Times. And Post later rose to be senior vice president at Kellogg's. And he died this week, God rest, in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So that's happening in the news. For those of you that love this show, and I do, and this is news to me, and Ron just... Listen, we had to change the format today. We were doing some stuff, and that's why I'm here. Ron is not here. He was supposed to be back. But the format, this was his stuff, so I'm reading his stuff. I love Only Murders in the Building. Listen, if you haven't watched this show, it was on Hulu. I think it's on ABC now. I think they premiered it back in January. I don't know if it's only season 1. The first season, if you like it, the first season's the worst. It only gets better from there. It started off a little slow, I thought. But then you have all of these crazy cameos from Steve Martin's friends and associates. And it's so well written and so ridiculous. And I don't watch a lot of television, but I do love Only Murders in the Building. And here, guess who's going to be joining the cast? Last year, it was Meryl Streep. We were hoping she'd come back this year. Now we have who? Molly Shannon, right? From Suicide. Molly Shannon is joining Only Murders in the Building in a recurring role. It says here, Variety is reporting that Molly Shannon will be joining the show's 4th season, and she'll play a high-powered Los Angeles businesswoman who finds herself drawn into the world of the investigation in New York. And it's so funny. The show is just insane. I'm telling you. Binge watch that sucker. All right. I don't know. Let's see. Question of the day. This is what Ron had. The question of the day. I didn't know. This is a new feature. Ron and Jen's podcast. The Swift-Kelce PSYOP. Ooh, right up my alley. A new survey from Monmouth University found that about 1/3 of Republicans believe that the romantic relationship between singer Taylor Swift and football star Travis Kelce is fake. Why? Why would they think this? Well, let's see. They think it's part of a government conspiracy to give Swift the biggest possible public platform to use for an endorsement of Joe Biden for reelection. Okay, that is so crazy because last night I was laying in bed and I canceled I used to be a coast to coast insider. And what is a coast to coast insider? If you pay $6.95 a month, you get all the back shows. You can listen live. You avoid the commercials, blah, blah, blah. You can email George Norrie. I've been a Coast Insider for years. They're just changing a lot of the stuff that they talk about. So I quit my subscription. I canceled it. But last night I was laying in bed and I came across this guy. Just stay with me. We're going to get back to Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. Brian Toohey. Who is Brian Toohey? He wrote a book. He wrote a really interesting book called The Fix Is In. And it was an interview that he did with George Knapp, who is a reporter out in Las Vegas. I love George Knapp. He's so awesome. And the book, The Fix Is In, how sports is rigged. It's all fixed. And back then he was talking about football, basketball, baseball, all rigged because of the underworld, because the mafia controlled it all. Now, I believe that it's all rigged because it's legal and they pander to the mafia in Vegas. There's still the bookies out there with all the cash. Somehow I don't think they're not engaged, but they pander to those guys to, make it work. I don't understand gambling. I've never been a gambler. It's never been my thing. But, when you talk about it and the nuances and the terminology, I really don't understand it. But it doesn't matter. What this guy is saying, if you've never seen this book, The Fix Is In, a lot of people say it's crazy, but people that come up with theories like this, of course they're going to be crazy, right? Anyway, Brian Toohey, I'm listening to this, and he's talking about how it's just forget it. And by the way, a Raiders player, recently, right after the Super Bowl, a former Raiders player, was on the Raiders for a long time, gave an interview, I believe it was Sports Illustrated, and said, yeah, it's all rigged. It's just fake. He didn't know why he invested so much because it was all a crock of shit. So there you go. But back to Taylor Swift. I don't believe that it's a conspiracy theory in terms of politics, but I do think it might be a conspiracy theory in terms of the NFL. They're a multi-billion-dollar business. They want to make money. And here's why I say this. When Roger Goodell was asked the question right before the Super Bowl, somebody relevant and with a lot of power from a legit station said, hey, what do you tell all the buffoons who are saying, yeah, it's all rigged, it's scripted, it's this? He did not answer the question. What he said was, he laughed it off and said, yeah, well, I'd have to be a pretty good script writer for that. And by the way, Travis and Taylor, who could script that? It's just such a wonderful love story. They weren't talking about Travis and Taylor. They were talking about the entire season and the blown calls and the phantom calls and the missed calls and the calls that made no sense and the non-blocks and all that crap that went on. He never addressed it. That's why I say it's rigged. Could be a psyop. But what do I know? I don't know. What do I know? I know that Ron's not here, and I'm winging it, people. All right. Before I get to the sponsors, because it's already almost that time where I have to wrap it up, I want to just say this because, on a serious note, this is really pissing me off, right? So what the Democratic Party, I was a Democrat my whole life, now an independent, registered independent. My brother's an independent. My father was leaning independent. I came from a family of lifelong Democrats, always just voted down the line. That's what I did. That's what I thought I should do. Like the Democrat Party is good, Republican Party is bad. Now they're all crazy. Everybody's bad. There's evil in both sides. There's evil everywhere. Washington is a crap show. But here's what they're doing. Okay, so how do you figure it out? You do your own research, people, and you really monitor your own discernment. Discernment is a spiritual gift, and in these times, you got to pray not to be deceived, for real. But anyway, what's really upsetting me is that now they're trying to demonize Christians, right? Christians, as we know, we just saw movies over the last year and a half in Hollywood that blew up because Christians all over the world and all over America, what have you, we're interested in seeing, solid family films with Christ at the center. Well, now they're coming after Christians. Persecution. We know this. It's not a big, it's the Bible warns you of it. But I'm mentioning this because Rob Reiner is coming out with a movie that's going to be released. It's a soft release in, I think, Chicago, Los Angeles, New York City. They want to test it. And the Democrats have coined a term called, it's Christian nationalism. So basically what they're saying is, if you believe in God, and if you're a Christian, and if you believe in the tenets of Christianity, and you study the Bible, and let's say you're anti-abortion, you're pro-life, or you're the pro-trans agenda in terms of you don't want the trannies stealing women's sports. Be you, but don't steal something from young ladies. If you are, I'm trying to think any other. If you're not interested in the gay community's agenda as a whole, or whatever it is, Christian nationalism, they're vilifying all Christians. They're just putting all Christians under one cloak. Don't take the bait, but fight against it, because it's absolute insanity to say that. Are there crazies in every bunch? Yeah, there's crazies in Islam. There's crazies in Black Lives Matter. There's crazies in the Christian community. There's crazies in the Hispanic community. There's crazies in the white community. There's crazies. It's a fringe element. But how are they going to blanket the entire all Christians in America under one, Christian nationalism, because you don't agree. I don't agree with your lifestyle. Live your life. Jesus said everybody had a choice, right? But that doesn't mean I support what you do, but I'm not going to block you from doing it because it's your life. That's how I think most Christians roll. But I just want to throw that out there. Beware, because it's coming. It's hardcore Christian nationalism. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. And I'm going to thank our sponsors today, and I want to tell you a little bit about them. Operation Stand Down. Listen, folks, they helped save my life. They're a local organization. I saw them on a business card one day, and I said, I need you. My life, I'm going to die if I don't get help. And I called them, and they said, what do you need? And I said, I need A, B, C, D, and E. And you know what they did? They gave me A, B, C, D, and E. And I say that they gave me that, but of course they expected me to pull my life together, and that's exactly what happened. So if you're a veteran and you have a family member that's currently serving, Rhode Island's primary nonprofit for vets is Operation Stand Down, and they'll help you with housing, employment, basic needs, VA disability benefits, and so much more. You can call them 401-383-4730, or you can find them online if you don't feel like talking to a human. I know. But they will pick up. It's not an answering machine. You can find them online, osdri.org. Also, Brenda Lee O'Hara, just, such a great organization, such an important organization that she runs. If you want peace of mind knowing that your loved ones are being cared for and are safe in their home, if you have an older person that needs some help, you can contact Brenda Lee and her team at oharaseniorcare.com, oharaseniorcare.com. Listen, I take care of my mom right now, and it's a lot of work. And if I could, I'd get some help. But right now, my mom is super stubborn, and she doesn't want the help. She just wants her daughters. But we're trying to convince her that Brenda Lee is the way to go. So we'll see how that goes. But O'Hara Senior Care, they treat your loved ones like their own with care and compassion. I like this woman. I trust this woman. I would trust her with my mother, and you can too. Okay, their phone number is 401-345-1811. It's a terrific business, and they will help you when you're at your weakest moments there, as well as your loved ones. And also Greg's. Greg's. Who doesn't love pastry? This is the time of year, my friends. Pastry, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I have an intimate relationship with the pastry counter at Greg's right now. And this is because they have wonderful things to offer. If you're watching basketball, if you're going to watch any of the baseball that's coming up, any games, you can impress your guests with platters from Greg's. They have a wide variety of offerings. They have deli sandwich platters, salad platters. They have dessert platters, appetizer combo platters. They have insane desserts, a chocolate lava cake, cherry pie, strawberry shortcake, cheesecake. And these are February specials, and they have so much more. So what I want you to do is go to their website, gregsusa.com. Greg's, that's GREGGS, USA.com. Or you can call them. I don't have their number in front of me, but go to their website, gregsusa.com, and you can get more information on anything that they have to offer. All right. Well, that's it for me, guys. I'm heading out here, so I got to go see Mom as I speak. Ron's coming back to shut it down. Little late this week because of the snow and other stuff, but we'll be back next week, and we're going to talk about Taco Bell, aliens, and taxes. That's good stuff right there. All right, guys, try and behave. I said try.